persons, places, things. I am back once again. It's been a good while because this past week I did not come on because I went on a little vacation with my families. I got to enjoy being in the mountains. Hey, sister. Long time no talk. I got to enjoy being in the mountains with my beautiful, wonderful, amazing, perfect family. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. We'll talk. But prior to, we had a whole week that we didn't get to hang out and chitter chat. So I guess the week before this past one, I guess that the one that we're still in, right? The previous week, I was on a bit of a emotional roller coaster. I feel like that's normal for me. So yeah, I got into Sunday, as I've told you before, and felt like, okay, I don't really feel like doing it, but I was going to push myself to do it because I know that I kind of been, doing the most as of late. So I was going to do it. But then I was like, oh, it's Sunday and we're driving to the mountains. I don't know how long the drive is, so let me not, I don't want to do it in the car, so let me push it back later in the day. So then we get there and then we have to unpack, organize things, just, get the house in order, get everything in order. So then I'm like, okay, I'll do it later in the day. And then it just kept getting later and later until it didn't happen. And for some reason, I cannot bring myself to do this on any other day but Sunday. So here we are, a whole week later, a whole new Sunday later, at the start of a whole new week. And yeah, I'm excited. I have been able to do my tarot videos, and I have been posting, well, I posted the first one to my YouTube. The second one, which was from last week, again, just a crazy Sunday, right? So I did not post it, but I'm in the process of posting it to YouTube because it is important to this week's tarot reading that is being posted now. So yeah, it's all kind of flowing together like some kind of story or something, like a life story maybe. I don't know what that's about. Who knows. Oh, thanks, Chaz, appreciate you. Hi. So yeah, I've been able to work out those videos, and I'm excited. I'm gonna start creating blog posts that go with them to kind of explain a little bit more, maybe. I don't know, still working it out, still figuring out the details, but I am doing the work, you guys. I'm doing something, maybe just a little bit, but it's something, right? It's not nothing. It was my mantra for a little while. And so yeah, that brings me to this past week. Like I said, I went on a bit of a vacation with my family. It was a vacation, definitely. I just struggle to say that because my lifestyle feels like a vacation. So I don't know how else to describe it. So yeah, I went on a vacation with my family to the mountains. We were in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland. Deep Creek, Maryland. And it is a trip that they've been doing for 25 years, which they usually go in the winter to go skiing. And over the last few years, they've added on a summer trip. And so I joined them this year for the first time in a long time. And I remember why it was something that I enjoyed and remembered so fondly, over the years, because it is just, it's such a gift. It's such a treasure. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And that is a beautiful family to be a part of. And that's kind of what I reflected on throughout the week, was the fact that I'm so thankful to be attached to the families that I'm attached to. I just absolutely love the people that I get to call family. And I thought about just within that household, the amount of families that are attached to this family, right? So it's hard to explain. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out of my head the way that I'm thinking about it, but basically, if I were to consider in that moment, because those are the people that I was with, I guess, those people as the nucleus, right? Attached to this center, this core, are several different families, and attached to those families are several more families, right? So when you just think about all of the people that are attached to a family, it's heartwarming, I guess, to think that you get to be a part of that, or that when you see how good your perspective of this family is, you can imagine that all of the families that are attached to this one have similar experiences within them. So it just makes, you know, the thought of family that much more special or heartwarming or loving, or, you know, any of that. So that's kind of what I was reflecting on throughout the week. I don't know how to get it all out the way that I thought about it. So I don't have the words. Let's just go with it. Let's just go with whatever comes out. How's that? Okay, stop. I was thinking about, okay, growing up with my dad's wife's people, right? So she has a sister who has a husband who has kids and all that stuff. Like, they have their family. And then this is just the people that were in the house this time, right? So there's my dad. He has his family. My stepmom, who has a sister and her family, and has, together they have friends who, or they have kids who have friends, and they have friends who have kids. So there are all these different families that are attached. So in thinking about my own, right, the ones that I know specifically, it would be my dad and his family. And that is an amazing, awesome family. It would be me and my family on my mom's side. That is an amazing and awesome family. And then I look at my stepmom and her sister and their family, like their parents and stuff like that. And that is an amazing and awesome unit, beautiful family. And I look at my stepmom, dad, and little sister, and that is an amazing and awesome and beautiful family. And then my sister's friends, who have become family, so they're part of that unit. It's just all of the different units that are attached. And I guess because my stepmom and her family feel so much like family, I remember being younger and just kind of feeling absorbed into their family, right? Just kind of feeling like I was a part of the family, and it wasn't really a second thought. It didn't dawn on me probably until this trip. Like, for real, it's always like you have a thought or something crosses your mind, but I never really put two and two together until I don't know how to say this without, this sounds so weird to me coming out of my mouth. Okay, so I knew that they weren't my family by blood, but I never questioned whether or not I felt like family within this family unit, right? So growing up in that, being like 7, 8, 9 years old, 9 maybe, years old, and just kind of being put into this family, I immediately was like, oh, these are my cousins, and this is, I didn't go as far as calling Selena Aunt Selena, but that's because my dad introduced me to everybody as Miss, and so even my stepmom, I still call Miss Debbie. Call her mom sometimes, but most of the time it's Miss Debbie. If I'm talking about her to someone else as Miss Debbie, I'm just stuck. So everybody is their name. I don't add the aunts and stuff, but very much feel as though they are all of those things, all the family names. But my stepmom's sister has a stepson, so technically we're not related, But from the moment I met him and anytime I interacted with him, it was as if he were my cousin. And honestly, it didn't dawn on me until this trip that he is not my cousin. And that's because I remembered an incident from back in the day. And my dad made me mad from his reaction to that incident, that I was always just like, why was he being weird? That's my cousin. And it wasn't until this past week that I was like, oh shit, he was never really my cousin. Like, okay, I get it. But in my head, in my mind, he was my cousin. He is my cousin. And that is my family. So it doesn't, as obvious as it is, it was never that immediate, that obvious to me. I don't know. And maybe it's my definition of family and how I look at family and how I think of family because of the families that I come from. It's just like, you can be a friend for a couple of months and now you're family. Like, I don't know how else to treat you other than as family. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it just made me happy and feel warm inside. And then on top of that, the environment that we were in, beautiful, like big log cabin house type thing in the woods where there's still lots and lots of trees. Literally woke up every morning to morning dew. Like, your girl was in a meadow for a week, bruh. Like, there was dew on the grass every morning. Chipmunks in the backyard, gophers, bunny rabbits, just chilling, eating grass in the backyard. You could see like bees hopping from one flower to the next. It was like I was in a painting for a week. I woke up every morning and sat in these swing chairs so I could read and meditate and so I could read and meditate and, chill, just literally sit there listening to birds chirp and wind rustle leaves. Like, bruh, Bob Ross out here, just chilling in the mountains. And there was bear sightings, y'all. We saw bears. The moms saw them first on their walk, and then we saw them in the neighbor's backyard a couple times throughout the rest of the week. I don't know what was so special about their backyard, but literally the night before we saw the bears for the first time in the backyard, we had been sitting out in our backyard at the fire pit that's like literally right next to the woods where they came from. So everybody's like, yo, we were just sitting out there chilling. We could have got mauled by bears. But they seemed like nice bears. I don't know a bear's temperament. They didn't seem like they wanted to cause any trouble. And they only went to the yard where there weren't people. So I don't know if the bears just, I don't know. But there was lots of wildlife. We like rode a boat down a lake. And it was very calm and peaceful. Again, birds chirping. We saw eagles, blue herons, some red tail something. Yeah. lots of wildlife. Deer galore. I don't know what you call a group of deer, but we saw those, or we saw that. It was just, yeah. I feel like a new woman. Like I said, I was going into last week not feeling the greatest. I even for a second thought about not going on the trip because I was like, I just don't want to be a party pooper. But I'm so thankful that I didn't say anything. I toughed it up and I got to go. I made it. Yeah. I made it. And so since I told you guys that I'm doing the tarot readings, right? I'm doing them for each week. And I just went and watched this past week, the one where I was on the trip, right? And the readings themselves, I feel like I'm reading my own energy, but like I said, like we were just talking about with those families being connected, I feel as though we're all individually connected to different people, right? So I think that everything happens for a reason, or everything happens the way it's supposed to, however however I'm looking at it at the time, right? Same thing. I am potentially attached to each of these families for a reason, right? That I have Miss Debbie as my stepmom because of the families that she's connected to. I'm eventually going to be tied to, if not already, tied to someone who is connected to my story directly, right? So it could be within those family units, but also it could just be the people that you are attached to, period, right? So it may happen through family, it may happen through friends, however it happens, you end up connected to, it may happen through social media, however it happens, you may end up connected to the people that you are supposed to be connected to in order for you to tell your story, be who you're meant to be, create the life that is placed on your hearts, do all the things that you're called to do. Like, you are attached to certain people for your benefit. And so in thinking about my own energy that I'm reading, I could also be reading the energy of the people that are attached to me. So those are the people that I'm sharing the tarot readings for, all that to say. Those are the people that the readings are for. And so how I see it connected to me, how I saw it in my own life this past week's reading, was in that it was supposed to be, this past week was meant to be like a strengthening of your identity, right? Of you becoming more strong and fervent and passionate about the things that you want for your life. Hi, Bean. Bean saw the bears too. She told me it was time to come home. So you are growing in and feeling passionate about yourself and what it is that you want for your life, because you know who you are. You're walking from a place of knowing. And so from knowing who you are, you can declare and decide and design what it is that you want more specifically. And then you attach yourself to those feelings, and you walk that walk, and you make choices that are in service to that, right? And because of that, you grow in confidence. Because of that, the energy gains momentum and you feel that wind in your sails. So all that stuff was what I was talking about in the reading, right? And so how I saw it in my world this past week was I felt confirmation of the lifestyle that I want to live, right? So this house being in the mountains, like being able to come out to a secluded area, like where we live now. I know, mommy, I'm gonna show you the video. Where we live now, it is quiet. It's a very quiet neighborhood. The only thing that's missing for me is like seeing the trees like right outside my window. When you look out the window, it's houses, right? And they have trees to the left of me, but all those are about to get torn down so they could build more houses. And then there's lots and lots of birds and stuff, but excuse me, as they get rid of the trees, they'll get rid of the birds. So it's feeling, it's definitely not city, but you know, it's leaning more in that direction. And I think my desired lifestyle will be more in the country or the sticks somewhere, right? Where it's quiet and it's secluded. You can still go out and be in civilization, be a part of civilization, but for the most part, you're pulled away to somewhere that is very peaceful because, baby, I was feeling myself all week. Like I really did feel like I was in my element. So that felt like confirmation as far as something I said that I wanted for my life for a while. But I don't know that I had the confidence to really believe that it was possible. But experiencing that for this past week, it was like, no, you have to make this happen. So that's what it feels like when I say the getting a fire back, getting your identity attached to what it is that you want, because that felt like me. It was like, okay, I have to chase this. I have to go after this. I have to become this, live in this, live this out kind of thing. Yeah. What else did I get from from the reading? There was something about messages, like receiving a big kind of life-altering message that made you want to move forward, that made you want to make choices, in service to the person that you are called to be. It made you want to figure out your direction, or made you want to figure out what it is that you want. And I think the only message that I can think of that I got this past week that's at least clicking right now, that's connecting right now, was an expansion of my tree theory, which I still have not shared with y'all, and I don't think y'all ready yet. So it's probably me that's not ready. I don't really know how to explain it more fully. When I told Angie, she was like, "That's overwhelming." So I don't want it to be overwhelming. So I still have to figure out how to make that theory more palatable. And once I do share the tree theory, I can share the part 2 of that. But yeah, I dig it. So maybe that was my message for this past week that's kind of altering things, because I think it did give me, again, some more of that fire, some more fuel. And one day when I explain, I will be sure to explain that part as well. What else? That's all I can think of right now that was tied to last week's reading. So then the reading that I did for this coming week, I actually did while I was still in the woods, so you get to see a little bit of the lush greenery. I swear it looks like I'm in front of a fake background because it's so pretty. So just know that I really was there. It's real life. And so what we have to look forward to in the coming week, let's see if I can remember. We are taking action moving forward. So the first week that I did, if you go back on the YouTube channel, you can see, well, later today, don't go right now. Later today, you'll see the week of the 11th. I'm going to post the week of the 18th and then the week of the 25th. But the week of the 11th, we were talking about identity and just growing in that, knowing who you are. The week of the 18th was what you want, knowing by the end of that week what it is that you want. And so moving into this coming week, it's more about how to get there, or where you're going, right? So devising a plan of action. Devising a plan of action, taking steps forward, being able to turn that knob on the doors that are opening for you, being able to put the key in to unlock the doors that are opening for you. Like, you have things coming in, things wanting to happen for you, but you have to take that first step. You have to be willing to turn your boat around so the wind can push your sails forward, right? You have to be willing to blow up some things in your life, some elements of your life, in order for there to be room for what it is that you're after, for what it is that you actually want for your life. There are some of us who are going to be making what's called tower moments in our lives, right? So there's times where the world, where the universe, where God blows up some element of your life for your benefit, right? Knocks everything over, knocks everything down. And it feels like the end of the world. It feels like everything has come crashing down on you. It feels like everything that you've built is now over and you won't be able to recover from it. Or maybe you know that you'll be able to recover from it, but for right now, the shit sucks. Like, those are tower moments, right? And so for some of us, I got the tower in reverse. Tower in reverse. So for some of us, we're going to have to make those decisions, right? It's not going to be the universe. It's not going to be God. It's not going to be anyone else telling us or ruining it for us. We're not getting fired from jobs. We're not, being dumped. We're not getting served divorce papers or anything like that. It's going to be some of us who have to make those choices, who have to quit the job, who have to change positions, who have to, ask for something that makes them uncomfortable. There are other people who are revealing secrets about themselves, right? Or they're revealing secrets. There's revelation, but you are choosing to. You are the one taking action in that way, right? So some of us are having to share something that we've been hiding. Some of us are going to have to reveal to ourselves different elements of who we are. Like, you're going to have to say something that you wouldn't normally say. You're going to have to take on new habits that you wouldn't normally do. there's something else that's coming that wants to come out, but it's not coming out. So maybe it'll come out if I keep talking. But there's going to be change coming. There's going to be change happening moving forward in this week coming. And it starts with you. It starts with you making a choice, making a decision to walk through the door, to open the door, walk through the door, do whatever the next action step is for you. But yeah, I think that's it. I feel like I talked really fast right there, but that's what I got. That's what I got. We'll keep it short, keep it sweet, cute, all that fun stuff. And thanks. Love you. Bye.